Reggie. What is going on? All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. I'm in the building right now, Sports Game Vision, watching the games here, the NBA. Right now, the last game of the night is the Nuggets and the Clippers. What time is it probably out there? Are we in Denver? Yeah, it's probably like about 10 o'clock or something out there. It's a pop up live, but it's one of the shows that I want to do more consistently at some point. I'm trying to lock it in right now. My main show is on Friday. It's called Friday Night Live. Going on. Hoodie Hank is in the building. Salute to anybody that's going to catch me on replay or if you're going to join in now. If you jump into the pod, jump into the live, please. You know what I always say on every one of my shows, like, share, subscribe, follow, comment, all the positive buttons, not just for me and on my platforms, but any content creator that you may like. Make sure you support them in all kinds of ways so they can continue to do what they do and just have, the passion to keep coming back and give you the content that you like. But again, we are here, late night hype. Right now, I'm watching the NBA game, and it's the Nuggets up by 3 points over the Los Angeles Clippers. It's 96-94 now. Zubac just hit a free throw. 5 minutes and 29 seconds left in the fourth quarter with Reggie Jackson having the ball. Kawhi is defending. Swing, swing, swing. Reggie for the three. Woo! Knocked it in. Corner three-pointer. 99-94. Yes. I'm doing my initial test here for this late night hype, trying to see if you guys can even hear me or if I can be heard. A lot of times I mess up and I'm not even able to be heard. So let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's see if I can be heard here. Yep, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I can hear myself. All righty. Late night hype. Hit the buttons, please. Hit the buttons. Hit the buttons. We on a timeout for the game. Looking back and forth on this. 99-94. The Denver Nuggets are over the LA Clippers. Fourth quarter, 4:34 left in the fourth quarter. It's a pretty good game right now. I've been jumping around all day watching these games. It's a lot going on tonight. As you may know, it's this busy sports night. It's the NFL, it's the NBA, and of course, for me, my sport I love too is WWE. Monday Night Raw was on tonight, and it's been really, really good the last several months since Triple H has been head of the show, creative, and it looks like he has a lot more power behind the scenes now, making some of the acquisitions. And we had a big one this weekend. We know the pay-per-view Survivor Series, one of the four original pay-per-views. They're now called premium live events. And Survivor Series was this weekend. And tonight we had CM Punk show up again after he made his late night introduction to the WWE. Welcome back, right? At the end of the pay-per-view, when everyone thought it was done, they put the logo up, and then boom, CM Punk was there. And we're gonna pull his graph up right now if I can find it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Where we at, CM Punk? Here we at? Where we at? Oh yeah, here he goes. He's back home after about 9 years of disappearing from the WWE. He is back in the building. He is back to work. He left and jumped ship from AEW as they dropped the ball on keeping him with the company. He's money. I made a video on him a few months ago when they fired him from the pay per view incident. Of course, he was injured a lot over there when he came, but he was a prime money draw for the company. And in sports entertainment and wrestling, professional wrestling, period, he's the guy that creates a lot of money since he's been back. He's one of the top merch sellers from both companies, AEW and WWE. And he pushes numbers. The AEW were pretty much getting a million viewership every time he was on television, for the most part, at least close to it. And whenever they did live shows, they were selling out. And since he's left, it's been a little bit more difficult for him. And that television show Collision was built off of him being there, and the executive the executive officers or in the front offices wanted him on that show, and that's why they had AEW created. And they're feeling his wrath now, his departure from the company, and I think they're going to feel it even more as the months go on, and he goes on to bigger and better matches for him to progress the rest of his Hall of Fame career. And I'm gonna pull up the graph here. Oh yeah, Seth Rollins and him are going to be big money. And I'm actually going to pull up this one first. Yep. So this would probably be a great match for WrestleMania. We might get that Rock versus Roman as well. Those would be a huge uh, premium live event, pay per view type of event. You'd have two true main events on the show, not to mention what's created from the people that are already there, the women that'll be there. We know Jay Cargill is going to be coming to the forefront pretty soon, and she's probably going to go against either Rhea or Bianca or something like that. Maybe Charlotte. It'll be a big moment, big moment for the WWE to, kind of put that foot up AEW's butt a little bit. I don't know how Tony Khan let him go without a longer non-compete. If you know the story about how, Phil or CM Punk was let go before, Triple H and Vince McMahon had a year non-compete. So in this case, Tony Khan really needed something like that to prevent him from jumping ship to the other company and create this big buzz that's happening right now, as the viewership and merchandise is probably going to go through the roof for WWE. Not that they needed it more, but hey, a little bit more money is okay, right? And this year they've been doing a lot of great things for the wrestling fans. As you can see, these returns here. Randy Orton came back this weekend with CM Punk, and we know we had John Cena and The Rock show up, and John Cena did you know, another run, had some matches while the Hollywood strike was going on. The Rock didn't do that, but who knows what the future holds. It's been some great returns. It's been other returns that have come as well, and there's rumors that possibly, Sasha Banks will be back, or Monet, Mercedes Monet, on her independent route. But it's chestnut checkers, right? They're saying that they held out on these returns because they're trying to get the media rights for Raw. So we're talking about probably $1 billion deal or so now that you got Hall of Famer Randy Orton back, and now big time, and also pretty much future Hall of Famer CM Punk being there. They're moving that needle to get that extra money for the TV show. Just yeah, it's a good time for wrestling if you're a fan. Um, but CM Punk did his promo the end of the show today, and he pretty much called out AEW and the end of it. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. And that's a shot at all the people that weren't willing to put, They're bygone, but let bygones be bygones and put the differences to the side and go out there and put matches on for the fans and just make big money out there. Now he's in a place where he can make that happen even when things aren't good. He still does his job and performs at a high level. So it's a great thing to see him there. Great, been 14, well, no, sorry, 9 years since he's been back. My kids knew him from the WWE 14 game. So they were like, yeah, that's CM Punk. He's back. Okay, cool. But, his wife is also, again, the story of his wife. He was fired on his wedding weekend and honeymoon. He married AJ Lee. Uh, and she was actually still hot, part of the company when it happened, but she's been gone ever since once her contract ran out. There's a big chance she shows up too. The women division can definitely use a nice pop, and for the women's division, they got a nice amount of stars, but she can help, you know, bolster the roster even more, and you know, just have a great comeback for the company with her husband being there. It didn't make sense for her to do AEW. It makes a lot of sense to come back to WWE. But yeah, that was it. Randy Orton was at the show. If you wanted to see Raw today, it was a pretty good show. Randy Orton showed up, had a match against Dominic Mysterio. They had a tag team tournament, and I'm looking at this game here. They got the pause in it, but Raw was pretty good. Cody showed up, um, and he is the mystery. His opponent for Shinsuke Nakamura. I thought it was going to be CM Punk, but I guess not. Maybe they changed some things up. That seemed like that was really the play because he was doing his moves. So I don't know what that was, but overall, good show. And that's the main topic was just CM Punk being back. Looking at the game here again, the Nuggets are facing the Clippers, and Kawhi's at the line. It's 102-96 Denver, 3:11 left. Now 102-97 he hit a free throw. And speaking of these Clippers, let's pull this up. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George have not missed a game this year, and I'm kind of low on them. I know they're very talented. My guys at uh, Players Choice and my buddy and friend Seven Mitchell know that I don't have a lot of faith in this team here. My buddy BA, get your bars up. He has a lot of faith in them right now. He feels they're going to make a comeback, and they're pretty. They pretty much are right now. They're just under 500, but it's just crazy that you got these two guys here and they're under 500. The type of talent that they have, they could both run a team pretty much on their own. Plus, you got James Harden. Plus, you got Russell Westbrook, and they're struggling. And this other graph here, you got Kawhi Leonard only 20 points a game, which is a lot, but people are expecting him to perform a lot better. And 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists is great for most stars, but people are probably expecting him to be closer to the MVP, which would probably be more on that 28 to 30 point range. But the ball has to move around a lot more too, guys. So I don't believe he's washed, but it's interesting that they're playing all these games right now. And what we know is that him and PG do have a contract year. So maybe they're stepping it up to make sure they secure that contract. If not with the Clippers, with somebody else. I got a sneaking suspicion that if the Clippers don't give him a contract, that the Spurs might go back after him hard, and he might take a look at it. It's the team he came up with. He won a couple championships with, so he might do it. He might want to stay in California, but if all roads leads back to the Spurs, he could help them out a lot to get that team to the next level, having a guy that can help bolster the roster and be professional. and so far he's healthy. So let's see what happens. And now we got 255 at the game that he's playing right now. 255 left. It is the Clippers 98, Denver 102. 255 left. Reggie Jackson bringing the ball up the floor here. Hmm. I don't know who that was. I think that may have been Bones Holland. Just blew a wide open layup. Hmm. Well, let's look at these games here. If you guys don't know, well, sorry, it's the power rankings, which is interesting to see as well. Where's the where's these games at here for you? These were the games on the night. The Washington Wizards faced the Detroit Pistons. The Trailblazers faced the Indiana Pacers. The Los Angeles Lakers faced the Philadelphia 76ers. I popped in on that game, was, kind of floating around on the games today with Monday Night Raw as well. Got the New Orleans Hornets with the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets versus the LA Clippers, which we're watching right now. It's 102 100, still advantage Denver with 2:13 left. If I were to pick these games at the beginning of the night, let's say around 5 or 6 o'clock, I would say I will go with my Pistons because I'm from Detroit, so I have to go with them, even though both of those teams are horrible. And then I would go with the Pacers over the Trailblazers. I would go with LeBron's my favorite player, but they got those woes on the road. I would win with Philly on this one, and then the other game would be New Orleans versus the Jazz. I would side with New Orleans on that one. And then the last one, I would probably pick Denver. And right now, they're up by 4 points. 126 left in the fourth quarter. Denver is up 122. Reggie just scored. Now it's 104, 102. Denver over the Clippers. So the way it did work out so far in these games is we're going to pull this out for you. We're going to pull the scores out for you. And I already know the couple by heart already, but the Wizards beat my Pistons 126 to 107. That's yeah. Pistons are on a 14 game losing streak. And I think the Wizards were close. They had like a 9 game or something. They broke that. And then we got the Trailblazers over the Pacers. And the Trailblazers won 114, 110. If I looked earlier, I think Aiden had a pretty good game. So did Jeremy Grant, who I believe I talked to one of these pods. I'm wondering if they're going to try to get him out of there to a contender because he could really be a piece. I really liked his game when he was in Denver. I thought they were crazy for letting him go, but obviously not. They won a championship, but he was a good piece for them. And Brogdon had a nice night as well. But it was good to see my former Piston as well, Chauncey Billups, get a win. I know it's going to be tough for him this season, but he got a win over the Pacers, who are very good right now, actually in the league. They're 9-7, but they got the superstar in the making, Tyrese Halliburton, and he's got them playing very well. And I'm pretty sure he'll have them close to the playoffs playing this year. The next game was absolute craziness. I thought my Pistons was horrible. Goodness gracious. I watched this game. The Lakers they weren't shooting it well. Defense wasn't good. And the the Philadelphia 76ers, sorry, uh, put a whooping on them, 138 to 94. And in this game, we got a lifetime achievement, a career achievement from the one Sir LeBron James. He now has the most minutes played in NBA history. That's wild. Not really wild. 21 seasons and all those playoffs games, but this is regular season, I believe. Is it regular and no, it's regular and play in playoffs. He has 10 what over 10 appearances in the finals, multiple playoff appearances. And those miles are going to add up. And for him being the type of player that he is, as great as he is, all those minutes are going to add up. And he's going to be, I think, the wrong guys in the picture. I know he passed them up again, but LeBron's going to have a lot of records when he retires. I don't know how long he's going to be able to keep them, but he's going to have a lot of them as he steps away. But he's talking about playing for him a few more years, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Here goes Austin Reed. They beat the out of us. They did. That was a 40-something point blowout. That's crazy. Nasty work. Nasty, nasty, nasty work. Whew. Yeah, the shooting was bad. Can't lose like that. I know they were in Philly. Highland just dunked, okay? He made it up. It's now 111, 102, I believe. Yep. 40 seconds left. It should be the end of the game now. Looks like Denver's going to pull it out and get this win, which means that they'll move up probably to number 3 in the conference. Minnesota's doing well. Everybody, the West is pretty good, and the East they're not horrible either. They're pretty good themselves. The West seems like they got more stacked teams, but the East is not that far off, man. They've got some pretty good records and teams over there themselves. Russell Westbrook's got 12 points and 11 rebounds, 3 assists off the bench to Brody. Yeah, man. It's a big, big score right there. That's crazy. They lost by that much. And I forgot to pull up my graph here for my Pistons. 14 straight, 2-5 this season, 2-15 this season. Gonna be a long season for my hometown. Was hoping to at least try to get to a playing game, but they got some injuries to some vets that they have on the team, and they're not playing well with these young guys. I saw a play in the game, man. It's like it was no defense, no boxing out, no nothing. The guy just got the rebound and straight up dunked it with like it was like nobody was even there, even though it was players around him. The lack of defensive pressure and awareness, it was like playing how you put your video game on pause and the players just standing there. That's how that's how it looked. They just stood there and the guys got the rebound and dunked it. Let's look at these power rankings. As we see here, I pulled up this graph a few minutes ago. We got Boston on top, Minnesota at number 2, Philly number 3, Denver number 4, and OKC number 5. Now, this list is not bad, but I definitely would probably put Denver over Philly just off of the championship lore that they have. I know they got to win off, but that's what I would do. I'm still not sold on Boston, y'all. I don't know about y'all. Y'all can put in the comment section. You hear this later. Not sold on Boston. Porzingis wasn't my type, my type of player. I don't believe he's gonna show up when they need it. We'll see. He's doing it so far, but I don't believe so. Minnesota's sticking in there. We'll see how that works out. Philly, very impressed to how they've been doing. You see what happened tonight without James Harden, and they're still playing like an elite team. Of course, you got Denver. They are the champs. The champ is here. And you got OKC, those young fellas, and we know about the issue of the weekend with this guy here. I made a video about him. You can go check it out. Josh Giddey searching for trouble. He got in trouble. We know the allegations that are alleged, and he had no comment about it. I'm sure he doesn't, but his sponsors, they care. It's reported he's going to lose a $40 million Australian deal from a cereal maker. Was it Wheatbix? That's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of money to lose out on. We don't know if he knew about who the girl was, but we're going to find out eventually. And as you can see, over the weekend he played. Fans are mad, and I was like shocked that he played the organization. And when you look at it even more, people are upset because of the whole ordeal with Kyrie and Ja Morant, as you see in the picture. The other gentleman this summer, now he got released and everything. He if his was real, what's my guy name? They got released from the Houston Rockets. If he beat his girlfriend allegedly, like they're saying, yes, he deserved to get put out the league. But this guy has an allegation that's very serious himself, and they're letting him play games. And the fans were very upset with this woman who always attacks the black athletes. And she wasn't saying nothing about him, about Josh Giddey. They're saying that she did come out today and talk. I'm not sure. She mentioned something about it on there. I have not seen that episode of NBA was it NBA Countdown or NBA whatever her show is, the NBA show on ESPN. But they said she did a small piece on it, but it was definitely not as aggressive as she normally goes with the black players. So, but this is a tricky situation to be in. I do think the league should step in and have them just take some time off while they're investigating and while the law is investigating. But it's looking very, very, very much like it happened. Again, it's all about whether his intent wasn't on purpose or he was kind of tricked into it. We heard about the fake ID and she was in the club and all that. So we'll see how that falls into the hands of the police and what they do with it, and of course the league itself. Guys, all right. Loaded up the pod. Here's a news story that I had in here earlier that I found, and they just played just now, and their team lost. But Russell Westbrook, I wonder if he is going to get traded. He is a very tradable player at this point. He makes the least amount of money on the team, and his role is defined, but it's not what it was. He goes from a starter to a bench player. And if you look at those three players, these three teams, what would you think would be the best solution for him, the best team to play for? You got those Clippers. He can stay with the Clippers. He can go to San Antonio, which if he went there, man, he just might as well just be Russ. Let him play like Russ there. And then, of course, the other team is the Miami Heat, who, if they make certain trades, they might can use them. They might can use them. They know he's not going to give a lack of effort. He's going to come play on both ends. I think people don't give him the credit for that. And at this point, just cutting down on the late turnovers, and the Heat culture might be okay for him. He got that dog in him, just like Jimmy got that dog, just like what's my man named Bam Adebayo. I think he'd fit in down there if the trade was to go through, and it wouldn't have to give up a lot to to get him at this point because I think he only makes a couple $1 million a year. He took a huge pay cut to stay in LA, and we'll see if that'll come to bite him because if he gets moved, it's like he probably should have got paid more to stay in the league. Get paid that minimum. You won't be making the 50 no more, but at least that 17 range, that 20 range, which he probably still could have got. We'll see if this hurts him. And the other topic I have here, we're going to move on to this. It's Klay Thompson. I just thought it was kind of funny, this one. I don't care what people say. They don't do what we do. They can't do what we do. And yeah, he's taking shots at people like me, right? Shots. And everybody else too that's speaking about the game, the media. I get it. Klay is a Hall of Famer. He's a great player. But I'm gonna speak my speak. I'm gonna speak my speech. I'm gonna talk my talk when I see this basketball thing. If I feel like you're not playing well, I'm gonna say it. Won't do it disrespectfully, obviously. But we're gonna talk our talk. If we see something that's not right, we have to say it. I think that every fan is gonna do it. Every journalist should do it, or commentator. They should be honest about it. Now, a lot of them are not going to do it because of they're going to be compromised about TV deals. Part If you know Klay, right? Let's say you're a writer, you're not going to say anything negative about him because you're not going to be able to get the piece to write about him anymore. He's not going to talk to you, right? So you're going to be very, very, very positive on his game. But you have to be very objective when you do these things. And that's the main thing. It's funny what he said because it's truthful. But at the same token, when people see the game, they got to be objective, no matter which sport it is, whether it's NFL, NBA, baseball, boxing. I see that. I watch, what's my man name? The adult. Oh, shoot. Showbiz the adult, the boxing channel. He got blocked from from Shakur Stevenson from giving his opinion on how he felt about the fight. And from what I saw, he wasn't being disrespectful, but it just shows you that when you give your opinion on these things, even the athletes, they get upset there and their feelings just like anybody else, including myself. If somebody said something, it would bother you, but you got to keep on moving forward. And Klay know what he's made of, and he know what he's done in this league, and it's just about continuing to show improve, and especially to the Golden State Warrior fans, those Dub Nation boy, they love those guys there, Dre, and Steph, and just they have opportunity if he plays to a certain level to get back to the championship. So that's basically what everybody's looking forward for him to do. I know he's been struggling, but last year, as we talked about it on the other podcast, the Lakerland, which you should go subscribe to and follow and like all the videos. ZZ Honcho, said this last year. He was struggling and shot and then made over 300 some threes last year. So we'll see what happens. He has to show up. Definitely, it's contract year for him as well. So if he doesn't show up, they may have to move on from him. If he doesn't show up this year, either trade deadline or after the year is over. But if he has a significant drop, they have a very, very tough decision to make if that is the case and he doesn't really come back to form. Yeah, you get the silence here. I was going through the happened today. What happened on WWE Raw? Um, Chelsea Green and I'm gonna call her Dewdrop again. And her tag team partner, I forgot her other name again. I was just evading my mind, but they're still the tag team champions. They pulled it out. But yeah, man, he's just jumping in. CM Punk is a big deal. Wanted to touch on that. And these NBA games have concluded for the evening. But another good evening. And tomorrow, there's more good games to follow. So check those out. I can read them off to you real quick before I get out of here. And tomorrow, we're going to have Bulls and Celtics. That's going to should be an easy one for the Celtics. You're going to have Raptors Nets. That is going to be a pretty good game. Yep, that's going to be a pretty good game there. Let's see what. Then you got the Hawks and the Cavs. Should be a good game there. It's even teams, even teams. Then you got Bucks and Heat. That's going to be one of the games of the night right there. Yep, 12-5. Bucks and the 10-7 Heat, who have been playing pretty good this beginning of the season. Last year had a very bad start. They recovered to get to the playoffs and of course the finals, but they're starting off well. This should be a good game. It's on TNT at 7:30. The next game is the Hornets and Knicks, and the Knicks should take care of that as long as they don't take them for granted. Then we got the Thunder and the T-Wolves. That might be game of the night right there, depending on who's playing. That might overtake the Bucks and the Heat. But that's an hour later at 8:30, and the game of the night, the late game, it's going to be Warriors Kings. That should be a good game right there. We just talked about Clay. We just talked about him. He's got the late game tomorrow, and then, the Kings come for the Warriors. So especially this season, so it should be a good game. And the Warriors have won the most of the matchups anyway, but they come to play for them. They really do. They want to take that throne away from the crown, away from the Warriors, and they get tested every time. Yeah. I already showed you this. But absolutely, whatever you think about the topics we talk about on any of my videos, any of my lives, go ahead and in the comment section, just type it out, chat it up. We can chat back and forth, or in the comment section, and of course on the community tab, and any of the platforms we got. Let's chop it up. And the show like this, when I pop up like this on a show like this, I can even take some people come on into the yard to my pod, and you can give your opinions on the topics we're talking about, and we'll talk some sports. So some NBA, some um, whatever the topics I got going on, and you want to just touch on it, go ahead. I did not mention, I always forget this on a Monday, which is weird, but I don't, honestly, I have not been watching it like I used to, and that's the reason why I always forget to talk about it, is the NFL. I stopped watching them a few years back, because of that whole Black Lives Matter stuff. But the Bears beat the Minnesota Vikings 12-10. That's a very low score. Chicago Bears beat the Minnesota Vikings 12-10. I did kind of briefly see the end of that. It was a field goal for the win. Turned to I don't know what I was looking for, but I ended up turning the game on. But hey, I'm slowly but surely getting in. I'm actually watching a lot more games this year, because my Detroit Lions, they're one of the best in the league this year, which is a shock. If any of you know about that, how bad they've been over the years, to get them playing some good football is amazing. But that's all I have for the night. We talked about everything here. Malika and Josh Giddy, and Russell Westbrook and Klay Thompson and CM Punk trying to make that money in WWE. Again, support the channel, please. Support, support, support. I can use all of it. I thank kindly to all the people that are here now. I made a big milestone this week. I wish I had the clapping emoji or the clapping sound. I got over 400 subscribers. I'm looking to grow even further and even more into this YouTube space and the social media space. And I definitely can use all of your support as far as that is concerned. And I could talk this sports talk, this NBA talk, and definitely just follow me on all these platforms, and especially this one here as we continue to scale out on YouTube and everywhere else. But again, I speak for myself, but I also go to all the content creators, whoever's on my page that I post that are a guest on my show. Follow them, subscribe to them, and also anyone in the future. Just support each other, and especially if you're a creator or a creator, make sure you support them. But again, this is the late night hype, a pop up live for me. This is my pop up for now until I decide, and you guys are going to be the ones to let me know pretty much if you like this concept to come in and talk sports late, and I will lock it in once we get that rapport. But go ahead and check out my videos. I just posted one a day. My my good friend and host Seven Mitchell of the Best of Seven Sports Show. We're talking about the greatest coach of all time. Check that video out. Also check out my Josh Giddey video. We're talking about that. All these come from the podcast that I do on Friday called Friday Night Live. Come check me out every Friday, 6 p.m. on YouTube, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And this will conclude, guys, the late night hype for the day, for the night. And you guys enjoy the rest of the night. You can check out this on replay. And again, we will see you later. As I always say with my motto, sports game, you know the vision. Peace.